My name's Nicole. I'm 27 years old. In 2009, my 30-year-old sister at the time, she's mentally challenged, came downstairs and said, "Dad, I have a lump in my armpit." My grandmother on my paternal side died at 45 of breast cancer that metastasized to her brain. So my sister and I always knew that we had an increased risk. We had to go for testing, or screening I should say, sooner than the average person at 40. She had a tumor here in one breast and then 2 tumors in the other breast. Then when she went to a surgical oncologist, she had to go through the biopsies and whatnot, stage 4 in the one and then I believe 2 and 3 in the other. That surgeon decided that this is odd, you're 30 years old, we need to get you tested for this Brac mutation. She came back positive for the mutation being BRCA1, and they told my parents that your younger daughter, meaning myself, needed to be tested. And if I came back positive, I needed to have my breast removed, have my ovaries removed, and if I don't have any children, have children right away. I was 25. My boyfriend of 4 years we just broke up. That was not something that I wanted to hear, especially at a time when, at 25 years old, you're gaining your footing in a career. You're, just out of college and this and that. So I was mortified, I was pissed off. And I waited 9 months to go for the Brac analysis testing just because I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to know nothing about it. We were given pamphlets on, you read this, read that. I wanted nothing to do with it. That October was when I decided that I wanted to get the testing done. Went for the testing, 2 weeks later, they had me come back with the results. And before I even stepped foot into the genetic counselor's office, I could see on her face that it wasn't going to be a good result for me. So before I even sat down with the woman, I just knew. Even though I'd already known in my bones, I could feel it, like I'm gonna come back positive for this, even though they say you have a 50-50 chance. She put the paper down in front of me, pointed out the positive note on the paperwork, and I probably held it together for about 10 seconds before I had to leave the room, because even though I knew that I was gonna be positive, it's such a blow at the same time. So with that information, it took about a month to do any research, because it's, again, at 25 years old, you're just like, what the hell is happening to me? What's going on with my life? We found out that she had brain tumors. The breast cancer had metastasized to her brain. And like I had said, that's what happened to my grandmother when she died at 45. So the one tumor was inoperable, so they were going to do targeted radiation for that. And the other one they removed. We had a surprise birthday party for her. She was going to be turning 32. We were told by her neurologist that we probably would only have 3 to 6 months with her if the brain tumors came back or they grew rapidly like they did before. Thanksgiving in 2010 was when the neurologist told my parents it's not worth putting her through more treatment because it's not working. So you need to let her live out the rest of her life as comfortable as possible. Hospice came to the house. We did in-home hospice. She didn't want to be in a facility. She wants to be at home, with her cat and, parents and her sister and her, toys and watching TV. And she surpassed what many of her doctors thought she would. So that Christmas, we celebrated it like no other Christmas. That New Year's, even though she wasn't really, capable of celebrating it because she was in a hospital bed at that point in our living room. We did everything we could for her to have our last memories with her as memorable as possible. And then February 11th, 2012 is when my sister passed away. And not everyone has the luxury, for lack of a better word, of watching what could happen to you. I did. And she, like I say this to everybody and it always makes everyone get upset, but she saved my life. 32 years old. She has no idea what her purpose was for me. Following my sister's passing, I thought, I can't hide behind my sister anymore. I need to, start looking into having the prophylactic bilateral mastectomy. I met with the plastic surgeon part of my surgical team, and I had my prophylactic bilateral nipple sparing mastectomy May 3rd, 2012. At some point I have to have my ovaries removed, but again, I don't have any children, so I'll probably wait till I'm about 35 to 40. My biggest thing is a lot of doctors that I've talked to aren't as well versed as I am, even about the gene itself. So if any message would be sent out there, it's for people my age, in their mid to late 20s, be your own advocate, because you have to be. If you have a high family risk, you've got to know, and you have to relay that to your doctors, because they may say, okay, you have a family history, oh, all right, okay, and they do nothing about it. But if you're your own advocate and you're pushing them, they're a little more inclined to, say, okay, let's give you a genetic counselor, or if they test in their own office, they'll do the testing for you. In the beginning, like I said, I was petrified, I was mortified that I even had to make those decisions, but I'm glad now that I know about my risk, because I can do something about it.